We are live, coming to you from the dirty South, Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Here we are, first Sunday in February. For you, those of y'all who care, we're 6 months now from, less than 6 months from the National. Usually January is very slow. January was very slow again this year for me. Also, just glad it's over with. It's been a crazy January for me, hectic, and everything turned out well. But it was some scary moments personally, and but everything is good. Three River Hodges. Hopefully y'all are coming with some bangers tonight. Don't have much. Like I said, I was out of town at the end of month with my dad. His surgery went well. Willingham will have our show tomorrow as usual, and so just a crazy. Still have a remnant from the show today. Let's see. Well, I'll be right with y'all. Y'all just hang tight. Just hang tight. There we go. All's well. Well, let's do this because we have. I don't think it's been announced yet. Who's won? What's up, Hitman? Come on in if you want to, brother. Paul, what's happening? Jeff, what's up? Nice. That's awesome. I mean, I hope it had enough tables to handle all of that. What's up, James? I have, yes, you and me, we're going to have a talk next time we see each other. And they ended up having a double hernia when they went in there, so they fixed it all up. So he's actually walking around real good, and I'm a little pain today. I just got to charge up this phone a little more. Okay. Yeah, everything's good with him. Me and him, I did get to watch some baseball. It had the Caribbean series on MLB Network. It had some guys. If you watch baseball, you might have known. What's up, Doc? Joe, I don't know if you saw my Wednesday, but I showed off some cards that you turned me to, and that Swedish one this past Wednesday. I think I got some more that came in this week. Oh, you did, Ryan? Yeah, that I mean, it was kind of the equivalent of some minor league baseball. Pitchers were throwing like high 80s, low 90s, which we're thinking, when we say that, and it wasn't a lot of good control. One guy got hit in the head. And these are like all-star teams, but it's a lot of bats and balls. It had some older ball players from the majors, some guys that washed out. Pujols was managing a team. Benji Gill was managing a team. So it was cool to hear those names again. What's up, Yannick? Thanks for your vote. Oh, we got one guy in, not Hitman, but we got somebody hasn't been here for a while. Mr. Mike, making a table. Hey, what's up? Saying hi to everyone. So, how you doing tonight, Mike?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing, Scott?
Hectic week, scary month. I'm just glad it's over. We can move on. I know some not good excitement up near your area this weekend.
Crazy. It's a crazy world all of a sudden.
Yeah. Hopefully hopefully, we'll get back to some normalcy. Man, how's your collecting world going? I'm going to ask you about something you had, and we're going to talk about it for a minute. But how's everything in your collecting world going on? We haven't had you on in a while, so.
Things are going all right. I've been highly distracted by being very, very busy and
Right.
using every moment of my time. Still fighting exhaustion. People like you were encouraging me to slow down for a little bit, and
Yep.
I probably should have listened. I'll put it this way: I may have fallen asleep today at 3 p.m. Even if it was just momentarily at my desk in the afternoon. Usually that happens more like 8, 9 o'clock at night. Um, so yeah, I'm still recovering from the last couple years of overextending myself.
Yeah.
But
Sometimes those mid-afternooners, man, just a little bit is just enough to get you through the day,
it just shouldn't happen while you're sitting at a computer
No,
chair at a
probably not.
desk. It'd be a lot better if you lay down in bed or on a couch for a few minutes. But just keeping at it, busy, and today has actually been a day of trying to get some stuff done I have to get done and actually like take care of some of the collection. I
Right.
had a whole stack of slabs that I, finally, a little overdue, got them in their sleeves, their perfect fit sleeves to ensure
Right.
their safety. Start getting some of them away. Was hoping to get more stuff top loaded up and things like that too. Just
Right.
stuff that's been sitting around for, your intention is a week or 2 or 3, and it turns into a month or 2 or 3, which turns into 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 months
Right.
sometimes, if you get too busy. But that's what
Right.
I'm at. Not a whole lot has come out lately. I did open that Boomer Baseball, the Chris Berman set, which I thought was a fun little set. Not crazy expensive, nothing spectacular, not getting a lot of hobby attention, but I thought it was a nostalgic set Topps put out.
Well,
Open a little Prism football as well, and at this point, like everyone else, just waiting for the next week or two.
right.
10 days technically for 2025 Topps, and I always find flagship to be something fun. And this series one is not loaded with a rookie class, at least in comparisons to some of the
Right.
last year, last few. There's a couple really good rookies, but not guys that are going to garner a ton of hobby attention. But just like a fresh new set, a flagship set, collecting your favorite players' teams, building team sets. Like I just think it lets you know that
That's true.
spring training's here and opening day is not too far off. And for me,
Yeah.
once the Super Bowl comes and goes, like sports is over until baseball gets going.
Yeah.
So.
Well, flagship kicks off the season for the hobby and for I mean, if you're in the hobby, it you're right, James. I just take mine at work. It kicks off the year, but let's come back to
I
the Chris
am
Berman
just
thing.
real quick
Go
on
ahead.
James' comment. It's called old age. I feel like that's something that Scott would agree with because I think
Yes.
Myco 2025 version's been a little cranky, few little rants here and there.
It's been awesome.
Some might be unlisted on YouTube. Here and there, like providing some thoughts. Occasionally, not as filtered as maybe they should be.
So let's talk about that Berman. I didn't even know it was coming out till you did. You sent us a picture on our group chat, but to me, it looked like a pro set or something like that from the early '90s, the early pro set, and then it also kind of looked like I'm gonna go in the Wayback Machine, something from the '70s Wonder Bread. They did a lot of sets, or bread. I don't know if you have Wonder Bread in your areas out there, but Wonder Bread
Yeah, of course.
do cards, and they were just a solid color with the picture on it a lot of times. And it, the ambassador YouTube, and we'll touch a little bit, maybe a little bit here, but yeah, I'm mixed on it. I like the idea of the Berman nicknames and all that stuff, but to me, that they should have done like an insert in like Big League or something with Berman. You know what I'm saying? I think instead of doing the whole set, I didn't quite understand the whole set. So how many cards is it in that set? Do you know?
Honestly, I didn't look it up, but I'm guessing it's probably about 100 because I think there's at least a couple cards for every team. So I think it's right in and around 100 would be my assumption.
It's not far off from that, Carl. I mean, they're not bad cards, but I mean, not a lot of thought. And also, the picture, whoever did that caricature of him doesn't really look like Berman. If somebody goes, "Hey, look at these cards," unless I go, "Oh, that's what Berman used to call Mike Trout or whatever," I wouldn't know. You know what I'm saying? That picture of Berman doesn't really look like him that much. But that's just being picky. And I don't know if I guess my point is like I didn't know what the need was for that set. Is Berman like retiring or finally altogether
I
now?
mean, I feel like he is retired, isn't he?
I thought he did like just football, does the Sunday night show. I don't know anymore. I don't watch ESPN.
I don't know. I was going to say that's one of those things that have come and gone over time. ESPN to me has become like a nostalgic thing. It's just there's no need to really watch it anymore.
Right. And James, you're 100%. It's a gimmick, but who's the gimmick for, James? I mean, unless you're our age, who knows who Chris Berman is? Who's that targeted to, right? Chris Berman has been out of the main stage for 10 years, 15 years. He hasn't been on Baseball Tonight, and I don't know how long. So, I mean, they don't even do Baseball Tonight really anymore on ESPN. So, I don't think they do it at all on ESPN anymore. So, I don't even I didn't understand the product at all. To me, that was a decade behind. It would have, like I said, it'd have been a cool insert, a throwback for a lot of us older guys. But a lot of us grew up with Berman, like like Mike was saying, in the video. So it's kind of like, are they going to have Brent Musburger next saying we are live from every stadium in the country? It was kind of, to me, I don't know, wasted. But did you get another autograph other than Jim Rice? Because that was cool. I love Jim Rice auto.
No, I only ordered the 2 boxes, and I think the average is 1 and 2 boxes, so that was the one I hit. There's some big autos in there. I mean, you could hit Griffey and a bunch of guys like that. Mattingly's, I think, Skeens and all those.
Well, I knew they were going to have some older guys in there because, I mean, you're sitting here, Chris Berman. What's the purpose of having modern players in it? That was it was like, what was the connection, Zach, is that what happened? Anyone remember Chris Berman in Little Big League? No, I really don't. I used to watch I remember Little Big League, but I don't. They should have asked Reindeer to make the caricature. That wouldn't have been bad. Reindeer needs some, but he probably won't. Most of the artists Tops want him to give them their shit. He want to get paid. What's up, Average Asia? First time seeing you on here. Know a guy that used to work at ESPN said Berman is an arrogant jerk. I mean, he was ESPN, so he probably was a domineering figure. They do Baseball Tonight before Sunday Night Baseball. Okay, Jeff, they do. Okay, I just watched the game. I am not a big. I do not like ESPN all that much anymore. I remember ESPN the way it used to be, and it's kind of, I mean, it's not that way anymore. And it leans to one sport that I just don't care about a lot. So, and a lot of their shows, it's the same shows over and I just, all those sports networks, I'm kind of over them. If I want to see something, read something, like a lot of us, we just join an app of our favorite team, get the information or league that we want to get. Yeah, man, I haven't watched, but I watched ESPN at baseball and college football season. And if it's a good game, football game, that's about it. Keith Olbermann would have made more sense with it. I just don't think I'm trying to think of what announcer right now would make more sense for baseball. I mean, your most known like national baseball figures are somebody on MLB, if you watch MLB all the time, or like Joe Buck. He does all the big games, or one of the guys that does the game on Sunday night ESPN. Yeah, that wouldn't have been too bad. But I mean, I like the idea. I just think it's 2 years past what it should have been. I thought it was an enjoyable throwback to some of that stuff. I was just kind of like, what? What did you think, Mike, when you first saw it? Did it just, it's another product? Or
I mean, I was kind of like, wasn't expecting that, but I looked at it. I mean, it wasn't as cheap as it could have been, but it is the year 2025.
Yeah.
Inflation might be running rampant in the country. It's running far more rampant in the hobby. Like, goddamn, the last few years, sealed product is just consistently up. So, I just figured, what the hell? It wasn't one of those products at this point there's so many products that are so ridiculously priced. I was like, at this point, it's an affordable product that, you could rip a little bit. I like the Phillies cards in it, but
my whole thing
it's certainly, I don't think some product that we're going to be thinking about in 3 weeks. Like, it's going to come and go and be forgotten.
But I mean, you didn't do like, people like you didn't do Heritage High Number. You didn't do, some of this other stuff, but that's what we're doing. And I mean, when does the Sapphire Edition come out?
So we'll see.
I mean, that's what we're waiting on, the Sapphire Edition.
No more Sapphire for Mike O. He forgot to pay for his Montgomery Club collection in time, so I think it's too late.
Papa will be mad.
I mean, there's no point. Like, it really is bad now. Like, there's literally 8 products that you get the opportunity to buy, and then some of them are so ridiculous. Because I didn't buy some of the ones this past year. I think Bowman Draft Sapphire was $450 a box directly from Topps for like 32 cards. 32 guys that virtually no one in the hobby's ever heard of. So ridiculous.
And it's like a 700 card set, and you get one like color parallel. And I just sit and wait for it to wait. Like, I got that orange Sapphire. I bought that for next to nothing. Just I was very happy. Patience is the name of the game, ladies and gentlemen. You try to stay away from your FOMO and your feelings, and be smart. Let Mike O take the hit, and we just buy from him.
That does happen sometimes, especially when he gets very busy and doesn't have time to get rid of stuff the way he should.
So, but I think we all know that it's just in practice. Sometimes a lot of people like to buy boxes, and I understand. I think I talked about that before, but you announced that prices and what you got with it. I thought that was a little ridiculous. I don't know what the card stock was on it, but I was just like, man, that's pricey product for what it was. But hopefully you did well on it. But yeah, that's crazy. I mean, we got opening day, a few weeks, or not opening day, flagship, couple of weeks. Excited. I'm going to want my team set, battery team set. It's great for, I think, team set collectors, player collectors. Flagship's always a fun product. We always look forward to kick off the season. Um, and you said it's not a extensive rookie class. Have you looked to see if it's any like have they got pictures of inserts yet or what? It kind of we were
If you
looking.
look, you can find them. They've been sharing some.
Mhm.
I know the all aces. They're going to be like black theme this year.
They
So
were
instead
very
of
cool looking. Yeah,
like yeah, so like they're it's the same insert set, just totally different look. So they look neat. I think it's 1990 inserts. So I don't know. That's like a nostalgic set for me. I just remember collecting it with my brother and stuff. Very colorful. So it'll be fun. Moving on to some different years at least.
right. Garrett, January has been crazy month for me. I can tell you. From day one, my dad fainted on January 1st, and it's been crazy. But it seems like we're all good and on the other side. Like I said, less than 6 months now till national. So looking forward to that, and I'll be like I said. I'm going to be getting my hotel room for the weekend of March 7th for the Philly show. Um, so hopefully, uh,
So
can't
rough
wait for that.
weekend.
Uh, yeah, Dominguez might be that's going to be a hot card. Uh, the Nationals have a couple of rookies.
They
That should
really have the two best rookies, I think.
Yeah. And then and then there's always going to be a surprise or two coming up for the baseball season. Um, we're coming to what the mid part of the basketball season, which this year's basketball seasons to me it's almost like if a tree falls in the woods and nobody's there, does it really make a sound? Basketball this year has been quiet. Uh, we got hockey. The big thing there is Ovechkin going after the goal scoring, and they're also in first place. They play Winnipeg the other night, or yesterday or night before, and they lost in OT. And Winnipeg is second. People are thinking it's a preview of the Stanley Cup. Hope so. Yeah, it was a big basketball trade today. That was the biggest noise of the whole thing. Doncic going to L.A. I don't even really watch basketball, but it came across my news feed. Uh, but me and my dad were talking. It's just quiet right now. You got a little bit of golf starting up, pro-am. Um, just quiet right now in the sports world. Other than they're milking the shit out of the Super Bowl a week away now. Thank goodness it's about over with. But I mean, how many more stories can we hear of the Chiefs? Or the Eagles? They've been top two teams for a while. We've heard all the personal stories, all the
Yeah,
things.
it's not like obviously in Philadelphia people are fired up and excited for it. But like that was the worst outcome for the casual fan. And it may be a great game, of course. You look in the future, you might look back and like, damn, that was a great game. But
I done.
like the Chiefs now 5 of 6 years they've been there. They've won 3 of them. The Eagles have won in recent memory, but 5, 6 years ago. They've been there now 3 times in the last 8 years or so. Meanwhile, Washington was like that shocking story, exciting quarterback who popped up, and
Yes.
obviously Buffalo, close again, but the Kansas City fatigue is definitely set in for a lot of the nation for many reasons. And I've heard people, and like I saw some polls too. I'm like Patrick Mahomes is barely at the top of the list. Like you got Kelsey, who I'm not a Kelsey guy at all, which I've made abundantly clear. I think he's an asshole. He's just one of those guys who just talks too much. Like shut the hell up. Like I can't stand half the time I don't see the stuff, but I see it later. Like the
Right.
amount he talks after the game, like there's so many clips of him saying no one believes us. It's like, dude, shut up. You're just full of shit. No one picked you. You've been the favorite for years. If it was 2019, I get it. Like saying he's just a jackass. And then of course you have the combination of him and Swift and then the Kelseys in general. Like I don't know.
Right.
I feel like some people in Philadelphia are actually finally starting to get sick of those grifters who pretend to be the common man and are absolutely full of shit, money hungry sons of bitches. But maybe Ed will finally learn that. Sort of like his boy Juan Soto, dude. It's but like the whole like people keep. I see a lot of people blow back. A lot of it's Chiefs people like complaining about, oh, stop blaming the refs. It's like you're not blaming the refs. Like, sure, Buffalo had some chances to win that game. They certainly did. And they needed, the bottom line is they needed to play better to win the game. But the reality is you watch the game, you watch the replays, you know, they kind of got hammered up the rear quite a bit during that game. Like the
Right.
spotting was absolutely horrendous. And this is
Yeah.
a very common theme with the Chiefs. So that type of thing does build as well. Like obviously whenever a team's there a lot, like there's gonna be that. We had it with the Yankees back in the day. You're going to at some point have it with the Dodgers, even though they've only won now twice in the last 5 years, and one of them was that crazy short season. But like eventually when they start getting every player, it starts to become frustrating to the rest of the league. So we'll see what happens in that Super Bowl. I
Right.
always like watching the Super Bowl. I love Super Bowl history. I think it's
Right.
fun. This part of the year.
Yeah.
Earlier today, while I was working on stuff, I had the 1999 Super Bowl on Rams
Right.
Titans. Great
So
game.
I got I
Streaming
got
that whole
home.
game.
I got to my dad's Friday around 7:30. He was on his computer watching the 1953 NFL championship game before it was called Super Bowl. Um, and he was just in there just going, yeah, and he was telling me all about it. This is before I had a TV, but he knew everything about it. It was pretty cool. So yeah, I go, yeah, you and Mike would fit in. That's what I was like. He likes to watch all that stuff. I like to watch it too. So I like to watch the old baseball stuff. But Battery wants to know how is the vintage in Philly. I let you
I
answer.
mean, from everyone I've heard, it's as good or better than the show we always hear about in Ohio every year.
Yeah.
And it's clearly not going to be as large of a selection as the National because the National has so many more dealers. But like, I mean, a lot of the people I talk to that compare say it's right there among the best vintage shows in the country. Like you have a lot of vintage. You're not going to have. You will have a selection of pre-war. You're not going to have as much as you'd have at the National again because less overall dealers, but there's a
Right.
lot of vintage there.
Right. Pre-war as well. I know you get pre-war stuff. I've seen some of the stuff you got.
Yeah, you see it there again. It's going to be here and there to a degree, but
yeah, Mari, quite at NBA. And I mean, when a trade has to be your headline of the season, I kind of question your season. Yeah, golf doesn't matter. It's to the Masters. Okay. I have a dark horse as well, and that's Ronnie Mercio for the Mets. I'm really high on him. I just wanted it's. I don't know if he's going to be playing third or second, but I'm pretty high on him. Baseball should be picking up again with the leftover free agents. Lots of teams still have holes to fill. Well, if we can get rid of Scott Boras, two of them would have already been signed. I really think so. Pete Alonso and Bregman, I don't know what they're doing.
I feel like they're not pitchers, so it shouldn't have the same on-field effect. But you think these guys would learn from the Jordan Montgomerys and these guys that wait to the very last moment? It doesn't work out. Just find a deal and make a freaking decision.
Well, what they offered Pete. They offered him an extension last year. He turned it down before the season started. They offered him 7 years and 100 and whatever million, and he said no to it. And then because he wanted to go to free agency. He didn't have a great year. And, you know, and then Bregman, he didn't have a great year, definitely. And he is handcuffed at what type of field he should play at. He needs to play. They you know, the way he hits, he needs to be Houston or Boston or one of those places. If not, he's going to hit a lot of fly ball outs. So, so we have people talking over here about the free agency. Yeah, Flaherty. I just think Flaherty's kind of been used up. You got small ones like, you know, Nick Madrigal got signed by the Mets. I was like, what? For 1 year. In college football. Well, I was about to say that the refs are the SEC Alabama refs from about 5 years ago, where they literally looked down to see where the first down was when they spotted the ball. As odd as it is, I don't like the Super Bowl. Too much extra nonsense. I just want to watch it. Well, that's why a lot of people, if you want to watch the game, people record it, you know, and you start watching it later, you'll catch up. I used to do that back in the day a lot when I had when everybody had a DVR and all that stuff. I just do that with Dallas games all the time. Dallas has much more vintage than during COVID. I think it gets a rep as modern show, but good vintage all over. What's up, Chris? Glad to see you here. Yeah, Chiefs. You know, people. You know, I'm pulling for the Chiefs because I cannot stand the Eagles. I can't do it. The Eagles make me a little physically ill, and I'm not lying. If they start winning, I'll turn it off because I'm not going to watch that. So, you know, that's why when people say, you know, when Ed talks about the Mets and stuff like that, I'm the same way when it comes to certain teams. I can stand the Phillies a lot more than I can the Eagles. I just can't do it. What's up, Double D? Safe trip in your car, brother. Do you think an eventual Rookie of the Year will appear in the 2025 tops? Yeah, I do, because I like I said, Ronnie was a rookie last year. I don't know what they're going to do for his card this year. Nationally probability AL to be determined, Carlisle. Yeah, the AL is where I need to do a little bit more research. I know about some good minor league players, but I don't know if they're coming up yet, and I don't know when they're coming up. Must be a difference between $19 and $25 million a year to play a game. I saw Madrigal a lot in AAA when he came to Norfolk. He was really good at hitting for average, but that hasn't really translated yet in MLB. Yeah, well, when he was came up with the White Sox organization, he was a talent, and he was the guy. And then he got traded to the Cubs, and then he just kind of went away. It was kind of, you know, now the Mets are getting him for utility. You got to have that. You got to have that guy on the bench that can carry a lot of different gloves now, because your bench is so. You only have 3 or 4 players on your bench. So much for the Mets talking to them being family. Soto mentioned it.
I still think there's a good chance Alonso ends up back with the Mets. It's just,
well, see, James,
who knows?
I will disagree with the pity, because they offered him and he turned it down. They offered him a 7-year extension before the season started at like $170 million. And he turned it down. And then he didn't have a good season. Then he had a terrible playoff. He had one hit that was worth it down. And in the postseason, and you don't overpay. The
problem is, like, love him or not, he's one of those guys who, I don't want to say a dime a dozen, but you can get that type of player. Like, that's not the type of guy. One, he's his age, body type, position he plays, athletic ability. He's not someone that you're going to project to age very well.
100%.
At least past the next 4 to 5 years. So you're not going to want to give him a 7-year deal.
Right.
And he's a first baseman, so he's not going to help you in certain. Like you can always plug in a first baseman if you need to for a year or two.
Ventos is the
And
same guy.
he's not a speed guy. He's not an elite fielder. He's not a high average guy. He's a bopper. He's a first baseman / future DH. So
Yeah.
at
And
least
I love
Bregman's going to give you that third base. Maybe can play second base, and has been a guy who, like him or not, he has performed in the biggest spots on multiple occasions.
and he's
I
world
wouldn't give him a monster deal either, but
yeah. Me and my dad, if you again, I'm gonna plug tomorrow. I'll release it. These guys are great players, but they're not Harper. They're not Manny Machado. They're not Alex Rodriguez. They're not Derek Jeter. They're not these guys to get the 10-year.
they're not
600
going to
million.
turn around a franchise.
Right. They're not the guys that people are paying to see. They might sell some jerseys. I love Pete. Pete's my favorite player. I don't hide it. Wherever he goes, I'm going to follow him. I'll be collecting his Mets cards, filling in a lot of my back stuff. But I still, I'm happy for Conforto, even though he's a damn Dodger now. But I have players that I really like, but I am a realist. I like him because he is his background. He just came out of nowhere, crushed it his rookie season. And I still think he's kind of living off of that. And, when he should have probably done more to try to make his money then, but he accepted 1-year deals and stuff like that. And then the Mets turned around and offered 3-year he had player choice after each year to walk, and he still turned it down. And then, the Blue Jays offer him a nice contract, and he says he wants to play for I don't know what he's looking for. I think he's looking for that 4th or 5th year now, and it's just not, it's crazy to me. Chris is asking, who is your MVP pick for the season? In the American League. I'm going with Bobby Witt. I think somebody else wrote that down.
I was going to say, I haven't given it an ounce of thought, but you would think it would probably be those names. You got your Aaron Judge, who I'm sure will be in the running yet again if he stays healthy.
Bobby Witt. I think he's going to have to hit a ton of home runs, and the reason why is that because how he played in the playoffs. I think
losing Soto is going to hurt him a little bit too,
right,
in terms of having that guy who's on base 40% of the time in front of you. Bobby Witt easily could have won MVP last year. Like he had an MVP caliber season in most years. Just a sensational year. He's young. He's still coming into his own. So they're both obviously candidates. But you always have these guys who have career years. Like maybe a guy, if he doesn't get his extension, maybe a guy like Guerrero Jr. Some of these contract guys, some of these big years.
He was behind Shohei there in the Angels when he won it. And I think silent trade that really didn't make a lot of headlines for the Blue Jays was Santander, or however you say his name, for Baltimore. If Guerrero stays there and they don't trade him, that's a strong little lineup there. Sneaky. And they do play in Toronto, but it's going to be interesting because I was hoping that Mets would make that trade to get Guerrero.
Home of Max Scherzer now too.
Yeah, they did get Scherzer for 1 year. I think the over under is 8 starts. So we'll see about that. How do you give him $15 million for 1 year? Is beyond me. Is that I don't know how long, I know they got ranges for how long you've been in the league, but, it's kind of crazy to me. I think
unbelievably, that's kind of what a 4th and 5th starter gets nowadays. So,
fuck, Well, my man Verlander, who should have retired 3 years ago, he gets a pretty good deal. But they're all chasing that. Strikeouts or wins. It's one or the other. That I think they're both chasing strikeouts, like some stupid number of strikeouts. So they're both Hall of Famers, but to me they're more tainting their yeah, ODU legend, exactly. I think they're tainting their future more than anything else. I hate seeing players hanging on, especially pitchers, and I just think that arm fatigue is real. And when he decided to miss a start in the playoffs, I'm talking about Scherzer for the Dodgers. I knew something. That should have been the call it. That should have been it right there. Yeah, but he can still come back after April battery and win comeback player of the year. I think he's coming back hungry. He's that type of guy. I think now after having 2 injuries, um, you know, I think he's got that. Jose Ramirez is due too. He's always very good. Just always finishes. Yeah. And the problem Three Rivers, he plays at Cleveland, and nobody pays attention to Cleveland. They just quietly win their division and make the playoffs every year. And they just don't have that power stud lineup. Flash and Jose does not get the attention he deserves. Maybe he likes it that way too. Just quietly go about your business. Yeah, no, Tiny, I guess, is not pitching till May. I think my dad said today.
Yeah, it's I think what I heard. Which is no surprise. Why use up all the bullets early anyway?
Right. Yeah, Kershaw's chasing. Kershaw needs to retire too. He's done. Yeah, that's there you go. Thank you, Don. And I don't think a team should have to put out for that, right? If you can't, to me, if they don't make their starts, they should give them back money. Yeah, there you go, right there. One hit away for 40-40, 1 home run away, and I mean he's a beast. People in baseball know, but a lot of the writers like that, they love who makes the highlight reels, what fandom has really got them, and then he's another kind of Goldschmidt in our hobby. Well loved in his area, and then outside of his area, it's kind of nobody cares unless they know their stuff. Greinke should sign as long reliever to get his 21,000 Ks to get to 3,000.
I feel like he just doesn't
21
care.
Ks. Okay, I got you. Did he sign with somebody?
No, he didn't even play last year, right?
Oh, that's right. Didn't he retire? He finally just said.
I think he just didn't. I don't think he even felt like filling out the paperwork. I think he just stayed at home and hung out.
Right. Darren Fox trade, another headline for the NBA. Sleepy kind of. Yeah, I hate. Why do I keep saying driving me crazy? This I just go now. So baseball. I see the excitement over here, even from my hockey dudes.
I'm telling you, like from experience, the Monday after the Super Bowl, you will see a noticeable pickup, at least in terms of eBay, of stuff selling. People wake up that Monday and they're kind of like their mind shifts. Obviously, say you're an Eagles or Chiefs fan and your team wins the Super Bowl, you're probably going to be excited buying some of that stuff. But everyone else is ready to move on, and they're moving on to baseball, at least in the hobby.
Right now, in my small little world of sport lots, I'm doing very well right now. Well, at least moving stuff. I'm not going to make $1 million, but at least I'm getting stuff out, getting them out to people. I'm selling. I did over 100 cards last month, and that's kind of my target, so I was happy with that.
My January was very strong on eBay compared to last year, compared to typical Januaries, and especially considering I've been so distracted and busy. It's not like usually I'm really aggressive listing stuff daily. That hasn't happened, and I usually send out the offers daily. I only send
Oh,
out
okay.
offers a small amount, but there was just a lot of activity. Is so I don't know what it is. If it's just the economy, maybe a little more confidence in it, or if people are just excited for certain things. But
I think
to
it's
me,
that. Yeah.
to me, it was noticeable. Like people buying cards in general, definitely
Right.
baseball. And baseball, I would expect to pick up in literally,
Well, everybody's paying off their
7 8
Christmas
days.
bills, so they're ready to get back into it. Because uh, I'm ready for. I'm always ready for it. I love first day pitchers and catchers. They start showing that on TV on MLB. I don't care what the temperature is
It's time
outside.
for
It
Scott to
gets
tune
warm.
into some old school Expos games, watch some Gary Carter Expos games
Yeah.
from
Well,
20 years ago,
I don't
30,
know.
40 years ago.
You jumped on kind of late, but me and my dad watched a lot of the Caribbean series this weekend, so it was nice to see some baseball um, on MLB. So that was pretty cool. Uh, so I knew I at least recognized, and like I said, Pujols was managing a team, and Benji Gill was managing a team. So it was some names. Yeah, that's right. We're almost time to go into fantasy baseball draft. Mo can't wait. James says I
Gotta
love it.
find a good, gotta find a good league.
Yeah, or create one. Yeah. So last 10 minutes or so, or later, I'll stay on later. Let's. Somebody asked me did I make the YouTube Hall of Fame because I got it in the corner, and I was like, no, I just posted up there to let everybody know, hey, that's the season we're in right now, and our hobby is YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame. Um, I made a little bit of controversial picks for our community, and then Mike comes in and just throws a hand grenade in the room and walks away, which was well needed. And I think I don't want to try to create drama. This year has been one of the most drama free, I feel, votings that we've had in a while. So I don't want to start that.
Did we
I
get
did
the
think
vote total? I guess we didn't really get it, but it feels like the
I haven't
participation
got it.
was down,
Yeah,
um,
I think it was dead.
specifically from like more well-known channels, and then I think the total in general,
Yeah. Oh, the
and from
battery.
veteran channels.
I'm not getting it. So, uh, it kind of takes away. You when you talk about Hall of Fames and we're and uh, reasons why people get in. I'm like you said. I think the people that get in are deserving because they got enough votes from their peers to get in, so they're more than well deserved to get in. But I think we've lost a little bit of what the sight of from the beginning. Um, and that's to each his own. And they're gonna. And I said it before, and I'll say this is a little bit. I'm sorry I didn't make it Saturday. I was busy. I went and actually visited one of my friends and got to see. I haven't seen his daughters or his house since they were born, so I wanted to go visit them at Virginia Beach. And so I
How
did.
old were these daughters then?
4 and 2.
Oh, it's not that bad then. I thought you were gonna say like 8 or 9. I was like, man,
No,
you
no.
are
It
into.
went, the first one was born during COVID, and then
Okay.
I went and I had shingles, and I couldn't go because she hasn't had her vaccination yet. And so I went and picked up my mom, and my mom went and ate at an awesome soul food restaurant down at the beach, and uh, it was like 7 miles from my buddy's house. So I was like, let's go over there and.
You were due to visit, but it hadn't been literally forever.
Right. He redid this house right before COVID. Had one girl and the second girl. First girl he had when I was in Iowa. The second girl has had since I've been back. And this is one of my best friends since junior high, early high school. So, that's just want to go see him. Him and his wife. Uh, great couple, man. Just and he's an older guy he's 51 with a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. So but he's we're all young at heart if y'all don't know that. So Authentic Sports Dad, I voted. Good. Yeah, and that's the thing. You vote the way you want to vote. There's rules and you stay within the rules or whatever. Or let Jake make the decision. And, and I appreciate, like you said, Jake, it's very time consuming for him to do this and keep it going. After Mike decided he didn't want to do it anymore. He just got tired of hearing the bullshit every year. And I think it's just fun to do and get, names out there and reasons why. I like to hear the reasons too, especially if you hear somebody that you never heard. Okay, why is that person voting for them other than just throwing out a name? Zach, I don't think Carlos even sniffed it. I think we're way because only 5 get in, I think, and which is and they're going to be newer channels. And that's the kind of the thing that we're talking about. I think I'm a newer channel, and I've been around probably twice as long as the people that are getting in. So I like Purple GT and some of those OGs that people don't really talk about. They don't have the flashy channels, or they just basically shoot cards. Like Mike said, some flipper channels might. I brought that up. You might not like them, but they have 10,000-12,000 subscribers. Recognize me. We'll do some Roman Reigns on you, and that's the way. That's why I voted for a couple of the guys. And that criteria. Jeff is not a flipper, but I think he's a grifter. I said it right at the beginning, but he's the face of the place, man. He is everywhere. He gets in the doors that nobody else gets into. He brings you videos of behind those doors. He gets interviews that nobody else gets. He's got Teapot on his team. You can't beat that. Sports Card Dad voted for him because of the news and his consistency every day. And and that's it, River. There are a lot of small communities inside the big realm of YouTube sports cards, and not all of those small communities, even though with the Sports Cards Hall of Fame, we have, and I don't think they're small community. I think we're the small community outside of those communities because they got such a large subscription base. And that's right. Carlos, I'm glad you're here. Just to let everybody know, since Carlos runs Eric and Eric pays for my my like button, there is now a 50% tariff on my like button because it's Canadian. So just to let you know so we're gonna make Eric pay 50% more. You can use that, Carlos. But anyway, I feel like I echo a lot of what not Eric said, what Mike said. I echo a lot. I echo a lot. Our buddy Ed just decided not to do one, I think, which I'm disappointed. I was ready to hear that. Our Fabian didn't do one because he's.
I feel like he might have done one. I don't think it ever saw the light of day.
I don't think it made it to anybody else. And we all talked about Mike on ours. Why. So I feel I'm glad it's over now. We'll hear who gets in. We'll applaud them, and we'll just move on. and get ready. I it's for fun, and I just want to remind everybody that it's for fun, and to get your name out, and also help uh, you know get the name out of other channels across to intersect some of these communities, like Three Rivers said, because a lot of our communities are cliquish. I feel like it's a high school cafeteria.
Because back in the day, there used to be, 50 channels, 100 channels. So everyone literally watched everyone. Now there's thousands upon
Right.
thousands of channels, and it's literally not possible.
Yeah, and you have all kinds. Now we're separated ourselves into genres, which I didn't even know that existed till I heard, there was a difference between TTM videos, which I used to watch, but I just can't watch everything. I still watch them every once in a while because I like those. It always interests me that I want to do them and I just don't do them. Don't have the time. And then, between this whole thing, in the last couple of years, when I was like a thing between vintage and modern, which I didn't know. I'm just a collector. I just collect. I collect what I like and collect what I want. And
Even if you're an idiot, sometimes collecting bums.
yes, I just I keep picking up the Frank Thomases. I can't help it. Yeah, and you know what, Three River, it's one of those things like with Jake, and I feel for him because it's a damned if you do, damned if you do. If he does something, somebody's going to say something. If he does something else, there's going to be another group. I just wish there was a way we can like include a larger group. I wish it was encompassing the whole group, because I can tell you right now, at our get together Thursday night, there's going to be 100, 200 people there. And that's just a small slice of our YouTube community, because the rest of them will be across the street at the trade night. And that'll be all the card ladder guys, the Jeff Wilson groups, Ryan, Card Collector 2. And man, that's some heavy hitters right there. I just named, and I mean, I think, was it Brian? Did you, I think, I think he voted for Jab's family, which, I'm along the same criteria. I can't do it because I don't like the person, but at least.
Son of a bitch. You're just like all those asshole writers for the Baseball Hall of Fame.
That's it.
Kicking people to the side because you don't like them.
That's the one guy for principle I will not vote for. So, but Jeff, and even he was the only one I don't subscribe to that I voted for.
Hey, look, Carlisle just said this a sensible thing that a lot of people have been talking about.
It's time for the veterans to get in for YouTube Sport. Yes, we've had one, Carlisle. That's me. Mike had one, and when Jake took it over, we didn't. Changes are coming, I promise. What's up, guys? What's happening, Brad? If that wasn't complicated enough, we have people out here making videos while other sensible people are making content as the content guy. Yeah. And come on, there's no difference. Making videos are content. I let Ed get away with that when I didn't want to have that fight with him. I'm a video maker. I leave the content creation to the people who are better at it. Yeah, but when you make a video, it's content, brother. Once it hits the airwaves, you just created content. He wants. That's probably correct. He wants actual veterans of a foreign war to come in and make votes and never watch the YouTube channel. That's probably and Don agrees. And I went back and forth this year on voting, but I was like, you know what? And I'm going to tell you straight up, this is my grift. It was for clicks. I want people to.
You son of a bitch.
You put a hashtag Hall of Fame ballot, you're going to get clicks. You're going to get some channels that's never seen you before. Ain't that? I mean, at the end of the day, don't we? I mean, yeah, we say, "Oh, I'll do this for two people," but we all love to see that subscriber count go up, even if it's one notch. You get a little, you know. I'm just being honest, man. It's
I
something
don't
to
know if I would have titled my most recent mail day something different. I feel like I would have gotten way more views.
yeah.
The way I did it, I was like, I
And I
bet I'll
mean,
struggle
let's
to
be
get over
serious.
100.
Let's be. If I really wanted views, I wouldn't buy the cards I'd buy other cards, or just really come out and talk shit. And I'm not there. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be
Go get
me.
some fake Rolexes and go to town.
Right. I'm me. I'm not going to change who I am to do videos. And that's the good thing about 99% of this community stays that way. Um, that's the big thing. But I feel like we, it's a good way to cross, almost not platform, but get your name out there with in front of people that never heard of you. Um, that might collect the way you collect, and it's a good way for me to see other names. I've watched some videos. I have no idea who people are, and now I do. So let's see. The Veterans Committee would remove a member each year. I got you. That would be the assuming they can get the tablet working. Sure, why not? The channel with the most votes in over 10 years might be a good way to get an old channel in every year. Don, yeah. And I mean, I just think, and I'm not taking anything away from guys that have been 3 years. Jesus Christ, it's a grind in 3 years. That's something to be said. And you stick with it, and you still make your videos, and I think the people that I think that will get in, they're great for the community. It's not that they're not. I just think some other people, when a friend group gets their 3 years, everybody else gets pushed away. It's almost like who's the new rookie. The old veteran guys get pushed away, and everybody wants to buy the rookie card. Uh, I mean, we sit there and talk about history of sports and sports cards and stuff, and then when it's time to do a history thing, we kind of don't do it. Um, yeah. So I mean, I voted for Orlando. I don't know how long Orlando's been doing it, but Jesus, if nobody deserves it more than Orlando, right? He is not only makes great videos, but he's everywhere. He's such a contributor to this community. He ought to get two patches. Three, I lose a subscriber every time I upload a video. That number doesn't bother. I got you. And I love my community. I love being small, close knit. I know people. I get to know them a little bit better. Messages, and it's a person. Or, I have a friend group more than a community. That's what I like. I feel it was not appreciated enough that I offered to randomly show vintage cards on screen out of context. Yeah. Has anybody used the Zion magnetic card holders? No, but I saw they were doing them. I don't know. I like reindeer ballots every year. Jonathan Quick just got win number 400. Yay, goalies. And man, what they're doing, was it for Fury this year? Man, hockey just does things so classy. For being a sport where breaking the other's face is such a good thing, they're so classy when it comes to respect and all of that. It's pretty cool. 3 years for Orlando. Yeah, so there you go. You can't earn the Lifetime Achievement Award until you've done it for 4 years. Yeah. What's going on, Mr. Fisher, Mike? And again, I wanted to thank everybody that did. My name came up either in a vote or, oh, did you? Yeah. Or just in kindness. That to me, I've said it before, means more to me than any patch to have my respect from my peers. I think it's awesome. And I know you can't vote for everybody and you have reasons why you vote for who you vote for. That's why the one reason why I don't want to vote is because I feel like I feel like I'm gonna leave people out. And after the fact, I'm yeah, I ain't got that much money to go around. I I feel like I leave people out and they're so deserving. And I granted, as much as I learned about the history of the YouTube channels and group, because I have a great group of close knit friends that have been doing this for a while, I still don't know the history the way I should. And that's shame on me. So I can't sit here and blast everybody and not know either. So I'm not blasting anybody. I'm just trying to put it out there. And I appreciate all of y'all. Have nothing but love for everybody in the whole card community. It's, I feel like we, as a community, it's a fun time. It's fun to see who people vote for. It's fun to see the videos, what some people's new things they come out with. I appreciate that type of thing and how they present stuff. It's pretty cool. And listen to how people talk about other channels that I don't care what channel they vote for. The appreciation shown to me is great for everyone. Funny 3.
Just blowing up that ego, Big Scott.
Yeah. So I need it, man. I need my ego inflated. You got any closing words, Mike, while we get out of here?
No, it's just another week in the world, another week in the hobby. Crazy shit. Airplanes falling out of the sky 10 miles away, a mile from Ed. When these crazy things you see on the news happen and they're really close and they're areas that you visited, it definitely makes you think a little bit. So it makes you appreciate your time in the hobby and the people you hang out with in the hobby and all that stuff. And sometimes you just have to count your lucky stars.
Yeah.
And not get all worried and bent out of shape about some of this nonsense that doesn't quite matter.
This stuff humbles us. It's tragedy. It makes us realize what are we're bitching about cardboard and voting for guys that pick up cardboard and talk about it. So I feel lucky and blessed that we do what we do, and it puts some perspective on things. Yep, Mr. Fisher Bike. But the hobby is good, and long live the hobby. So until next time, like, share, tell a friend, subscribe if you haven't.
This son of a bitch just wants you to subscribe.
And join my OnlyFans. No, I'm just kidding. Until next time.
I don't want to even find out if that's a real thing. That'd be scary.